Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning in today's video. I wanted to pop in real quick and do this little intro, let you guys know that this video will be a declutter. We are going through that drawer right back there, which features all of my face palettes. This would be like brush. This would be like blush, bronzer, duos, blush palettes, face palettes, contour palettes, all that kind of thing that falls up and underneath that category. I'll be going through, sharing my collection with you guys, and it ended up being a declutter on top of that. So if you want to know all the face palettes that I have in my collection, you want to see what I got rid of, what I'm keeping, go ahead and continue watching, and I'll check back with you guys towards the end of the video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get into my palette collection. First up, this is actually the newest palette to my collection. This is the OPV Beauty Born to Shine blush palette. You may have seen this when I unboxed, was it January? I think it was January add-ons or February pop-up, whatever. A boxy charm. I'll go ahead and link it up in the cards so you can check it out if you want to know what else I picked up from pop-up. But there's a big mirror up there at the top. This palette is everything, and I went ahead, I don't really want to swatch anything only because my hands are still a little bit oily from the cuticle oil, so I'm not going to swatch it. But this blush palette I wanted to pick up, so I went ahead and got that. Also from Boxy, I see a couple of Boxy Charm there because I haven't really bought too many blush palettes recently. But this is the Pure Dark Deep 4-in-1 Skin Perfecting Powder. It says it has a translucent powder, a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. Here's a look at what this palette looks like. So this is supposed to be like a translucent powder, so good for underneath setting powder. I would mix these two for some kind of bronzing situation. And then this, I'm pretty sure, I can see the swatch that I did before, but this is a nice gold highlighter. Didn't I just say I wasn't going to swatch anything? But this is a nice gold highlighter there. As you can see, that's what that highlighter looks like. Really pigmented, and Pure products are really nice, so that's why I kept this in my collection. I definitely want to try that out and play with it. But swatching this reminds me of another palette that I have, which is right here. This is the Revolution the Makeup Revolution and Patricia Bright Dust Till Dawn face palette, and I have no idea why I kept this in the packaging. I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out. So it's like a tin metal can, and then here's what the palette looks like. The difference is this has a blush, a bronzer. Do they call it a bronzer? They don't even say it. It just says 1, 2, and 3. But this is a blush. I'm guessing this is like a bronzer contour situation and another highlight. So real quick, I'll swatch those. So the highlighter, which is more like a champagne gold kind of situation. The bronzer, more red tone than the original one, and then this blush is really pretty. I had put the Patricia Bright palette up and I didn't get too much use out of it because it was already turning into spring, but I wanted to use it during the winter time. Totally forgot. I hardly ever reach for these blush palettes, to be 100% honest with you. I hardly ever reach for palettes, but I will explain as I walk through like why I have certain ones or whatever the case may be. But this would have been good for like the winter months, and it still is winter technically, but you know, we're starting to get in the nice weather, so I don't know how much I'll be reaching for that, but it's still good to have in my collection. I was really happy that Patricia Bright got to collaborate with Makeup Revolution. So again, that's what those palettes look like. Also for Boxy Charm, I got the Ace Beauté Blushed in Paradise. Let me I should zoom in a little bit. So the Ace Beauté Blushed in Paradise palette. Just list the ingredients and stuff like that, but this is something I haven't used as of yet, but I did say I wanted to try. It's a range of blush shades. I don't really like the texture. These are a thicker texture. Oh, but that one is so pretty. I'm such a sucker for like berries and stuff, but this is what this brush palette. So the two end shades are pretty similar. This one is a little deeper in tone, These are really similar, but this one is like a more fuchsia pink, where this one is a little bit more of a wine color, but I would wear those two shades. I definitely like those two blushes. Now this used to be one of my favorite blush palettes. This is like old school, like maybe 2018, 2019. This was a Tarte holiday collection blush palette, and you can tell like the wear and tear, like it's so busted right now. But I used to mix these two shades. You can see the deepest dips in those. This bronzer didn't really work for me. Sometimes I would go for the lighter pinks, but hardly ever. But my two jams was these two, and I just can't seem to get rid of this palette. Will I reach for it anytime soon? I highly doubt it. Oh, on the camera you can't even see how busted it looks, really. Lucky me, because it is filthy around here, let me tell y'all. But yeah, why I still keep it, I don't know. It's just nostalgic for me, and one day I'll let it go. Speaking of nostalgia, this is another one of the Tarte holiday collections. Or was it a holiday collection? This may have been. I don't think this is for the holidays. Just a Tarte collection. The Tardis Contour palette. This is another blush palette where the glue came off of the mirror. As a matter of fact, that may be better for the video purposes. So it's a blush. I mean, it's a contour palette. You have two highlighters here, which looks pretty much the same. Icy, icy, icy. I don't know if those will go for me, but I didn't even use this palette for that. I used to actually mix these two. I used to mix these and bronze up my face. I don't even know what this was. Oh, this is supposed to be a blush, not a blush that I would wear at all. So not so bad, but there's nothing I would wear. Actually, this is a palette that I can actually let go of. Should I start decluttering stuff in here? Oh my goodness. I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here for decluttering today, but at some point that may end up going as well. Next up, this is fairly new to my... Oh, before I get into those, I have stuff here on the side. I should have started with those, but this is stuff that wasn't in the drawer. This is stuff that was like over the... just in some of my Muji drawers back here. This is where I keep the Natasha Denona. And then these over here is from the little carousel, the lipstick holder thing that you usually see in the background of my videos. So I would definitely want to include these. Not like in my bronzer video where I left out some bronzers. Yeah, we don't want to do that with the face palette. So anyhow, this is the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. And I love this palette. Like, it has the two cream, well, this is a cream blush. This is more like a cream glow product. It's not necessarily like a highlighter, but it just gives you like this natural glow. And I'll go ahead and swatch those. Oh, the texture feels totally different than what it used to be. This feels a little, oh, but it's still pretty creamy. That blush though is everything. So that's the highlighter and that's the cream blush. Oh my gosh, I love that blush. And then, like I said, this is just like a glow product. Hopefully you can see. And then I love how it has the lid to close the creams. And then you have two highlighting products down here at the bottom. And these highlighters pack one hell of a punch. This one here is really glittery, I will tell you that. So I love this Natasha Denona palette. And that's why she resides in the Muji drawer. Then I have these two filthy looking blush palettes from Juvia's Place. Yeah, I remember, I had these since like when they first came out, and I love this one. This is I love volume 2 for the summer and spring months, and then volume 1 I love for the cooler months when it's fall and winter, because this is just a little bit deeper. I've been rocking with these ever since they came out. And then the last of the overspill is these Anastasia Beverly Hill Glow Kits. This one is my favorite. This is the Sun Dip palette. And I used to use the mess out of these highlighters. Like, these highlighters are beautiful, and I have to swatch these for you guys. Like, come on. Stop playing. I used to live for these highlighters. Like, oh my gosh, so pretty. And I would never let go of this highlighting palette. This one, the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero. I love Nicole Guerrero. I used to love her channel. I don't watch her so much anymore because she's been like doing vlogs and stuff, and I'm not like a vlog kind of girl. But I actually had ended up buying 2 of these. I wonder where that second one is. I might have a second one somewhere in this room now that I think about it. But this is her glow kit, and I thought these shades was like really glittery, and of course she's a lighter skinned girl than I am, so it makes sense that, you know, she curated it the way she liked it. So I tried to use it a couple of times, and it's just, you know, that one's pretty much collector's purposes. I have a NARS. Oh, this is a dual. This is the Gina contour palette. So this was a contour palette from NARS. It has the contour shade, and then this is like supposed to be like a bronzer shade, I'm guessing. But I used to always use this to contour. I don't use it anymore, but it still feels good too. So that's that contour shade there. And then the bronzer really doesn't do too much for me. That's not really a bronzer. But if I wanted to mix them together just for a lighter bronze kind of situation, I can do that. But I would definitely used to use this contour shade a lot. Then I have this is an eyeshadow palette. Well, it also has blushes in here, so that's probably why I have it in here. So these are 2 blushes. Oh, well, damn, that's not right out. Okay, but I never got rid of this. It doesn't say the name of the blush. I can't remember. This used to be my favorite blush. Oh, as a matter of fact, I have the liquid version of this blush. What's the name of it? This is the Dolce Vita. That's the name of it. So this is the... Why is my palette falling apart? I'm really upset about this. So I have the liquid version of that blush, and this is Dolce Vita. So I never wanted to get rid of this palette just because I love the shade of that blush. And when they had the liquid one, I definitely jumped on that. So let me know if you want to see blushes next. You can do that as the next makeup collection video, or eyeshadows. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments which one you guys prefer. But I never got rid of that palette because of that blush shade. Next up, we have the e.l.f. blush palette, and this used to be Babe too. This is in the shade Dark. Like, I think everybody had this in their collection at some point in time, because these blushes was just so bomb. You have some mattes, you have a nice shimmery one, you can mix the shades, you can use the shades by themselves. This was just a really solid blush palette. So I also have the e.l.f. contour palette, which I think I only used once in that full face of e.l.f. video that I did last year. And this one is just not something that I necessarily think will work so much for me. So I'm going to take this out of the collection, and I'm going to put that in the box that I have for my friend, because I think that'll work for her better. Next up, I have this Ofra Signature palette, and it's just a collection of their highlighters, which their highlighters are some good highlighters. Like, these things glow. These last 5 shades here is the Ofra highlighters. Like, you can just see how vibrant they are compared to the other highlighters that I had swatched before. So these highlighters definitely bang, and I'm holding on to that palette. I need another wet one. This is the Luminizer sisters, aka the Luminizers. So Mary Luminizer, Cindy Luminizer, and Betty Luminizer. And this used to be my palette, y'all. Like, you can see the wear on this one. Like, these freaking highlighters are so pretty. So I definitely, and just swatching these take me back, because like, they don't swatch the best, but when I tell you that these are everything, oh, they used to be everything. Now I'm looking at them like, they're like basic. This one is really pretty, but how many gold highlighters do I need, right? And it's nothing that I reach for, but that Mary Luminizer, that pale white gold one, oh my gosh, like, it used to be like so hyped up in the YouTube community. And yeah, it wasn't for my skin tone necessarily, so I used to mix these two together, and this brings me back. And I don't know, these are just classics, and another reason why I really can't get rid of this palette as of yet. But you know, it's part of my collection for now. Up here in this corner, I have 3 Sleek palettes. Now, don't sleep on Sleek. I know Ulta Online sells Sleek makeup. They had sent these to me, or they sent one to me. I can't remember. They had sent me some stuff back in the days, and I think I ended up buying 2 more or something like that, or I can't remember. But that's beside the point. Like, when I tell you now, this one necessarily wasn't my favorite. My favorite, I can tell you off the name. This is Precious Charms Cleopatra's Kiss. This is for women of color. Like, when I tell you, these highlighters, again, don't swatch the greatest. There's 2 Korean products in here as well. So I've always been a fan of cream products, but look at those highlighters. Like I said, this is like so women of color friendly. Look at that. That is beautiful. This is the cream highlighter, which you know I love a good cream. This is another cream highlighter, more of a yellow gold. And then that last pinky gold didn't really do too much. Let me see if I can get a better swatch. Yeah, that one doesn't really do anything. It's more glittery than anything. So I'm pretty sure I went in more for that one and the two cream products. Like I lived for this palette. And then the Precious Charms palette, another one that I really like. Like you can see, look and see how much I use these palettes. It's crazy, but I hate to get rid of these because like it's cream products and I shouldn't really keep them that long. This one actually has 3 cream products, so I'm definitely gonna go ahead and declutter this, only because like it says they're good for 12 months. I'm telling you, it's probably been like 5 or 6 years since I had these palettes, so I think that has to go. This one I barely use, and again it has 2 cream products, but these colors wasn't necessarily for me. And this one is in the shade Solstice. I would wear it because I love this formula, but Cleopatra's Kiss was where it's at. So this one I'm going to hang on to just a little bit longer just because it is Bay. Next up we have this, another staple in like your makeup collection. If you was trying to contour and things like that, that was the era of contour. Let's see, this says, it doesn't give me a year. I wanted to know how old this was, but this has been in my collection for years as well. This is the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette, medium to dark. And another one that I used to use the mess out of. And this is something that I'm going to keep in my collection. None of these are cream products. And I want to keep this in my collection because, if, you know, when I do drugstore edition videos, this is something that's like a staple for drugstore. So I'll go ahead and swatch these. You have your contour, you have your sculpt, and you have your highlighter. I didn't necessarily use the highlighter out every now and then because you can see it is used. Every now and then. I just have so many highlighters that it wasn't necessary for me to use it all the time. But those just staples. This is a staple product that I love, and I'll definitely be holding on to that. Another contour product. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Look like how jacked up my packaging is. But this is their contour palette, and when these palettes came out, you can buy the palette empty and you would pick the shades that you wanted. Do they even still sell these? I gotta check and see if they still have these, because they do have the pre-made palettes where they would pick the shades for you, or you can buy the pans individually. You see these pans pop out. These pans have been in here for so long, they ain't trying to pop out of nowhere. But that's what I did. I bought my pans individually and I created my own palette. And you can see the dips and divots in this pan. I used this pan. I use these a lot. This they said was like should be a contour shade for me, but I don't necessarily reach for like those gray ashy kind of tones. I tried it and it's not for me. Maybe I might like it now. I mean, I had this palette for years as well, and that's nothing that I'm gonna be getting rid of. I just recently talked to you guys about this Hourglass palette. This is their ambient lighting palette. It has dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. And my favorite was always the radiant light, or I would go and use my brush and mix all the shades together and use it as a nice finishing powder. This looks a hot mess as well. It's expensive. I'm gonna keep that forever, even though I'm not feeling Hourglass right now. This, the e.l.f. Glow, Gleam, and Beam palette. This is a really nice palette. So it says it has a glitter, it has a shimmer, a metallic, oh, so the bottom 3 are metallics. You have 1 glitter and 2 shimmer. That's the glitter. I'm not gonna swatch it because I don't feel like having glitter all over me. But these are the 2 shimmer shades. Really pretty. I really like this palette, honestly. And then the metallics down here, just in case you want to be a little extra. You can do that with this palette. You can be a little extra if you wanted to, okay? So those are really pretty and a nice affordable palette that, you know, is good to have a drugstore option. Then we have Becca. Oh, Becca is going out of business, guys. How y'all feel about that? Like, I love Becca's highlighters. If I do my highlighter collection, which you can see a lot of my Becca highlighters swatched in the video that I did with the Anastasia Beverly Hills when they came out with their new highlighter, the iced out highlighter. I was trying to find a dupe, so I did go through my I did go through a lot of my highlighters and try to find a dupe. So you can see a lot of those swatched there if you want to. Because I know Becca Cosmetics is going to be having some major sales at some point. So if you're looking for highlighters, Becca is it. Like, their formulation is bomb. And so this is the Becca Afterglow palette. This was a holiday release. Comes with the Moonstone. Oh, actually, this was 3 highlighters and then 2 blushes. So this is Moonstone, Rose Gold, Topaz, Wild Honey, and Flower Child. So I had lied when I said I never tried a Becca blush, because I used to wear these blushes too. But Moonstone, Rose Gold, Topaz, which I have a full size of Topaz that looks pretty much the same because I wore Topaz out. And then the 2 blushes. So that's a nice palette. And then last but not least in here is the MAC Nutcracker Sweet Copper Face Compact. And this is not really a palette. It only has 2 little products in here. So this is the Whisper of Guilt highlighter that everybody was sought after. So when this collection came out, I definitely had to buy it. And I just bought something from the recent MAC collection as well. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm gonna be doing an Ulta haul real soon, and you'll see what I picked up from that collection. But this face palette, I definitely had to buy it. I was so happy to finally have Whisper of Guilt in my collection. And this down here is Pleasure Model, which is an extra dimension blush. So this is really nice. And this is an extra dimension blush. This actually feels different from the extra dimension blushes I'm used to from MAC. So that was a good formula. Like, Whisper of Guilt is everything. I'm gonna swatch that compared to the e.l.f. Like, you can just see how it pops against that e.l.f. palette there. And then the blush was a really nice blush shade. I think they just did this for us black girls. They was like, okay, we tired of y'all asking for Whisper of Guilt. So yeah, you got it. Alright, so let's rearrange this back and let's see if there's anything else that I can get rid of. I will never use this contour palette again. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that to the side. I can't see this one. I just can't get rid of yet. So we're gonna hold on to that for now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that my camera cut off. I don't know when it cut off. I don't know if you're seeing the last of it, but I decided to declutter the Tardis contour palette, the 2 sleep palettes I talked to you guys about with the cream products. That has to go, and this one I'm gonna go ahead and put in the box over there for my friend. This is what I'm left with. I just decluttered 4 things out of that drawer, and then over here I'm gonna put these back where they belong. The 2 Anastasia Beverly Hills, the 2 Juvia's Place blush palettes, the glow kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then the Natasha Denona Bloom and Glow palette. I'm gonna put those back where they belong. And this is I have a little wiggle room going on over here. So that's what everything is looking like in there. I went ahead and put the Nicole Guerrero palette back there at the bottom because I have no plans on using it anytime soon. 17 face palettes. So we are under the 20 mark. Not bad, you know. Baby steps over here, but I ain't mad at it. Yeah, there's a little wiggle room going on in here, so I'm not mad at it at all. Thumbs up this video if you enjoy makeup collection videos. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, ladies, stay blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Later, y'all. So there you have it, guys. Those are the face palettes that I have in my collection. I did have to get rid of a couple. They've already gone. I actually filmed that video a couple of weeks back, and I just didn't film an intro or outro, so I definitely wanted to do that. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video by giving it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't joined the K Squad as of yet, go ahead and do so. I would love to have you here, and I hope to catch each and every one of you on the next video. Until next time, ladies, stay blessed. Lady out.